What's going on? Welcome to the Viral Talent CSGO podcast. I'm Chaz, he's Saint, and you're watching the America DFS Podcast Network.
Let's go.
Tonight we're going to be breaking down the 3-game slate for, what do we got? March 19th. It's going to be Friday morning. It's the ESL tournament. First game, we got Gambit MIBR. We got Navi versus Cloud9, as well as Furia and Team 1. This is a new group. This is Group C. Group A have finished off. Group B have finished off, and we're now on to Group C. Before we get into tonight's slate, how you doing your way, Saint?
Good. Just been a busy day. Just on the go. Played some CSGO this morning. Did pretty good. Was maybe one guy off on not Mouse Sports, but whoever they played this morning on taking the big takedown for the 2000. But it is what it is. We'll bounce back today. We got a whole new slate, and so I'm excited for Group C to see how these teams play out. But other than that, I know you've been pretty busy today. How's everything your way?
Not bad, man. Not bad. Just been traveling a little bit. Now on a little bit of a vacation out here in Colorado.
Yeah.
Hopefully to win a little bit of money doing some gambling on the college sports in an NCAA tournament. I didn't have any luck doing CSGO this morning. I played the angle of Mouse Sports and FaZe don't have anything to play for. They're going to be unmotivated, instead of the angle of, hey, Ints, we're in the tournament. Hey, G2, we're in the tournament. Why play for anything? I wish, out of my couple lines, I would have accounted for that scenario, but I like to go one way, and I'm either going to win it all or I'm going to lose it all. So that's how my day went. But, again, it's a grind. That's what DFS is, and we're on to the next slate. So with that being said, let's jump into it. We got Gambit versus MIBR. What I do like about this Group C is a lot of these matchups are very straightforward, especially when it comes to tomorrow's matchups. Gambit, MIBR, there's not really a lot to talk about. Vegas has Gambit being the favorite. I personally don't see this going past 2 maps. I think Gambit can come out and sweep this team pretty easily. I'm pretty familiar with this MIBR team, and I don't think they're necessarily ready for Tier 1 competition. So, when I look at this from my specific perspective, I think Gambit can come out here and win this in an easy sweep. If it's not a sweep, I can't even say that. I mean, honestly, there's not really any map other than Dust 2 that maybe MIBR take it to a close series and maybe squeeze it out. Other than that, there's not really another map that they stand a chance for this Gambit team. So, from my perspective, when I look at it, I'm heavily on this Gambit team. When I look at Gambit, I like Shiro, I like Axel, and I like Hobbit for a sweep. You can definitely alternate Nafany and Enters in there for sweeps as well. Definitely like Shiro as a core piece of my lineup. On the other side of things, I can't really suggest anybody on the MIBR squad. I can't even really suggest the idea of a scenario of an upset. I just can't see it. So, again, from this standpoint, it's pretty straightforward. I hate to be short about it, but it's Gambit all the way. 2 maps.
Yeah. Like we said, this slate's going to be pretty much simple. Maybe one game will be interesting, but Gambit, they've been on a run, winning past 6 of 7 and of 8 in their last 10. So these guys are on fire. They're super hot. And over ranked teams, I mean, they've beat Vitality, Spirit, Navi, G2, Heroic, and Mouse Sports. I mean, they've absolutely been dominating. They've been on fire. They come in against a weaker MIBR team with bookie backing and better form ranking. Tomorrow, my number 1 stack for tomorrow on Gambit and across the board is Shiro, Axel, and Hobbit. It goes that way. Those are my 3 that I love for tomorrow. If I was going to a deep GPP side of things and wanted to throw a team in there and do a MIBR stack, the only 3 I'm using is Yell number 1, SHZ number 2, and Cello number 3, if I was to go that route. and that's in deeper DPP plays if you want to take a shot at that. It doesn't hurt to do that, as you can see of what happened today. This is electronic, right? It's all online, so you never know what's going to happen. So point being, Gambit's hot. They're probably one of the best teams in CSGO right now, definitely top 5 in my rankings. But Shiro's number 1 on my side with Axel, Hobbit, Nafani, and Enters in that order. That's my ranking with this team. And you have to look at the money line. They're at minus 600 tomorrow. So that's pretty impressive over MIBR. I don't see MIBR coming out hot and taking over this Gambit team. This Gambit team, they're on a tear right now. They're trying to shoot for that number 1 spot. And this Group C, for the most part, there are about, I would say, 2 or 3 teams that are average. So it'll definitely be interesting to see how this Group C pool plays out. But tomorrow, I'm all over Hobbit. I mean, and Shiro and all these guys. So, and Axel. So I'm going to keep it short and simple. That's where I like it. If you're looking at pricing for Gambit side, you have Hobbit at 8,200, Shiro at 9,400, Axel at 8,400, Nafani at 78, and then Enters at 7,200, which is all right. I mean, it's not crazy, but I think that's good pricing for that team overall. But on the other side of things, I'll give you what the other side of things are. But I would, like I said, this is deep GPP play only. I'm not using any of these guys anywhere else. That's just my personal opinion. You can take it for what I got to say on that. But I'm actually trying to find their pricing. It's loading for some reason. I don't know what it's doing. So if you want to give me a second here.
No problem.
While it generates. I don't know
we can also come back to it. I mean, at the end of the day, it's a GPP.
Yeah, no, it's a deeper GPP play, so I'll still throw it out there. It's just loaded right now. So you got right now in the flex, and these are the flex spots, Yell at 6,800, Bolt at 66, SHZ at 6,600 as well, Cello at 64, and Danico at 76. Not interested in any of those guys. They're super hard fades for me, but I'll probably throw them in there just for the fun of it. But other than that, Gambit all the way. I mean, I see them sweeping this MIBR team tomorrow, and I don't see any issues with them. So,
yeah, I like it. The next matchup, we got Navi versus Cloud9. Again, in my opinion, this is another straightforward matchup in the sense that, Navi should take this pretty easily. Maybe this goes 3 games or 3 maps specifically, but in my opinion, it's pretty tough to even call that in the sense that I think this Navi team is the stronger team. This Cloud9 team they're still trying to figure it out, and they're still kind of low tier 1 in my opinion. Even in 3 maps, even if Cloud9 were to pull this off, a lot of the times they seem to die a lot, so none of them, put out a crazy score that you need to have. Again, you got, one of the best players in the world with, Simple on this Navi team. So, I'll look at this and say that, Navi should win this pretty easily. I think that they should win this in 2 maps. Maybe it goes to 3 maps, but in my opinion, I can't really see that. I like Simple. I like Electronic. I also like Perfecto and Sweeps. You could also alternate between Flamey and Boomich. On the other side of things, I can't really recommend anybody. Again, maybe they get overpassed through in the map selection and they have a chance to win a map to take it 3. But, again, this is very straightforward to me. I don't mean to be short and blunt with you tonight, but this group it's pretty easy for me to kind of give you an understanding of where you want to focus on. And, yeah, maybe there's a deep GPP play on the other side, but again, I think it's Navi and Simple's one of those players where he's just like Zywoo. Too many times you can't really fade Simple. So with that being said, get Simple in your lineups, get some Navi players in your lineups, play for more times than not a sweep. Maybe it doesn't go to a sweep, but Navi definitely are going to win this matchup tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. This is Simple, as in simple. I'll just put it out there. Navi, let me just tell you something about this team. So Navi, they went on a run of 10 match wins in a row, right, before dropping 2 against Liquid and Gambit. Those 2 teams, Liquid and Gambit, are both top teams, definitely top 10 in my book. C9, they haven't played many teams with big names, right? And so that's a little for me. I mean, that's where I'm going to put it. Navi are the bookie backing favorite, better form rank, and to me it's simple overall with this team. C9, they're a deep GPP play for me, just like MIBR. If I had a MIBR, it would be 5, and then C9 would be 4. If you're planning to play for C9, I would use S-Tag number 1, Alex number 2, and Floppy number 3, followed by Mezzi and Exepa. But, man, this Navi team, I'm super excited to see what they have in store. I don't see them having any issues against this C9 team. If there was to be an upset or anything like that, I would definitely lean this way, C9's way, just because C9, they've played decent sometimes. But I don't see the other teams as inferior or Gambit losing. I think those are just self-explanatory to me. So, like I said, if you are going, this is a deep GPP play. Like I said, S-Tag Alex Floppy, if you want to, go ahead. But I'm all over Simple, number 1, Electronic, number 2, Bumble, number 3, Flamey, 4, and Perfecto, 5. I think it's going to be a 2-0 sweep, Navi side, maybe 3 games if C9 got a map in their favor. I don't see it happening. I think this Navi team's super high-powered and explosive. They got a good squad. They got, I think they just work well as a team and are very well-rounded as in a group. So I definitely think it'll be exciting tomorrow. But like I see a 2-0 sweep Navi's way, maybe a 3-game, but I don't see it happening. So.
Yeah, I agree. The next matchup, we got Furia versus Team 1. Again, very straightforward. Furia should come out, and I think that they should sweep this matchup as well. I don't know. This Team 1 team, out of all the sweeps, I guess I would probably say that Furia should sweep the easiest. This Team 1 team is definitely more on the Tier 2 side than Tier 1. They do have some talent and, some potential talent or upside in the future, but as it stands right now, I'm a little off this Team 1 team. I don't, again, I think that Furia has probably the best probability to sweep. With that being said, I really like, focusing on players like Junior. He is the opper for this Furia team. I like Yuri. I like K. Serrato. And Art obviously has big games when he needs to come through as well. So I think there's a lot of options for this Furia team. I definitely think that they have, some of the higher score probabilities on the slate. When I'm looking at, building lineups, I definitely want to focus on a lot more of these Furia guys as well as Simple. Gambit with Shiro, he offers some great upside, but Yuri, he definitely offers some great upside as well. So the thing about tomorrow, what you're going to have to want to figure out is who has the best upside, and I definitely think that this Furia team has one of the better upsides. When you look at kill-to-death ratio, Team 1 die a lot. So when you look at getting the most frags, I definitely think this Furia team has a great opportunity to have, probably some of the higher rates of frags out of the teams tomorrow. So that means to me that K. Serrato, Yuri, maybe even an Art, maybe even a Junior, I want to focus on in my captain spots. There's a lot of great talent tomorrow with Shiro, Simple, so it's tough to really give you a great, lean on which way I'm standing from a captain standpoint, but I like this Furia team a lot. I mean, this Team 1 team dies a lot. They play more Tier 2 than Team 1 or Tier 1, so that's kind of where I'm at with it. I don't think that this Team 1 team is going to win a map. Their best map seems to be Inferno. Furia play Inferno pretty well, so I don't know. I hate to be short tonight, but from my standpoint, this group is one of the more straightforward groups, and when I look at these matchups specifically for tomorrow, it's very straightforward. I don't think Gambit and Navi and Furia should have a trouble winning their series. I mean, maybe some of these teams take them to three maps because they've had some time off to practice, but MIBR, Cloud9, and Team 1, they're some of the most, they're kind of the bottom of Tier 1 competition this year, thus far of what I've seen. So I'm sticking to it. That's where I'm standing, and I'll turn it over to you.
Yeah, I think this matchup is definitely interesting. Right? And the reason I'm saying that, this is the showdown matchup. The past 3 times since I've said what I've had to say about the teams that are supposed to win losing, it's happened 2 out of 3 times. So I'm just letting you know. I wouldn't be surprised if there is one upset if it's in this showdown. That's where I'm gonna leave it at that. Furia, I mean, they haven't looked that sharp in recent play, but they look far better than T1. The way they've been playing, T1, they've been playing higher level of teams really, but the last time these 2 teams played, it did go 3 maps. So that's something to be aware of. But I still think Fury will pull this one out. They're minus 1,100 tomorrow, which is absolutely crazy, right? So if you're trying to bet on this game, like flat out, minus 1,100, if you want to go T1's way and something like a Bovada, man, you're going to make crazy money. I'm telling you right now. You can have a bet on the minus 1,100 for Furia, but if you put some money on T1 tomorrow, don't be surprised if they do win. Just like I said, there's something with these showdown matchups that the team that's supposed to lose ends up winning, and it's 70% of the time. So I'm not going to say it's going to happen, but there is consistent play when it comes to that situation. Other than that, man, I like Fury a ton tomorrow. Like I said, they're minus 1,100, obviously for a good reason. They do have a really good team with Serrato, Art. They've been playing really well as of late. And this team's actually been my number 2 stack of the day. So my stacks are Gambit 1, Furia 2, Navi 3. On Furia's stack, I like Art number 1, Yuri number 2, and Serrato number 3, followed by Junior and Benny. I'm not interested in anybody in this T1 team. If I'm doing like a one-off and I need to fit someone cheap, it's going to be Malds. It just makes the most sense for me, just because, he is a lower value tiered option tomorrow when it comes to things. But at 6,000 price, his projection's 47. So if you're needing to fit someone in there like that, I don't have an issue with you guys doing that at all. I think that it would be a smart play, just because you can fit the other stacks that you want, like a 3-2-1, just with a one-off. I think that's a good idea for tomorrow. I also think I'm not going to say get cute, but I'm thinking about using Flamey in my captain spot tomorrow. I just want to get a little different. It just makes the most sense. I'll still have Simple. I'll still have Electronic. I'll still have Shiro and Axel, right? So you just have to mix it up a little bit tomorrow, I think. I think Shiro is a phenomenal captain play. Same with Art and Simple tomorrow. Those are probably my 3 flag plans for tomorrow at captain. Shiro, Art, and then Simple in that order. I think Art has a huge upside for tomorrow, especially at minus 1,100. That's an easy double up. I think tomorrow you can win a lot of money in double ups. It's just the way it's going to go tomorrow, just with, minus 1,100 for Furia, minus 425 for Navi, and minus 600 for Gambit. I think it's pretty easy and self-explanatory if you're trying to get, if you want something safe and secure, to go that route and just maybe throw a couple of GPP plays in there. But like I said, if you're trying to take down one of these bigger tournaments for CSGO and 3-game slates or 2-game slates, you're going to have a team that's supposed to lose in there. It's just plain and simple. It does happen that you have, the teams that are supposed to win, but the majority of the time, you'll see, just like today, you had FaZe and a Mouse Sports stack. That's what won it. And so, like I said, it's game 1 for all these teams in Group C. I'm excited to see what, is in store for these teams. Just be aware of money lines. You got Fury at minus 1,100, like we said, Navi at minus 425, and Gambit at minus 600. So even though we said this was a pretty self-explanatory night when it came to, matchups, like I said, if you're doing one line, just go to the safe bet. Be secure with who you use. Use a Gambit. I mean, that's a safe team to use, right? Use a Navi. Use a Furia. Those are teams that you're going to want to use if you're trying to use just one line. If you're doing multiple, just try to get different. I mean, that's just the way it is. I'm doing the same thing. I'm sure you're doing the same thing. See, Will. So we all do it. I mean, none of these guys that you see at the top, if you get frustrated and see these guys, man, why are they always winning? Well, they're maxing 150 lines, plain and simple. It's not that hard. If you have the bankroll, like we were talking about earlier, do that. I mean, you're more than welcome to. Stack a MIBR and a C9, right, and a one-off with someone else. But that's only if you're doing 150 lines. If you're only doing 1 or 2 lines, you have to be smart with what you do. That's just plain and simple. And I think you're pretty on the same page with me on that. But other than that, man, I'm excited for tomorrow. I'm excited to see what happens. If I had to rank, I'm going to do something a little different tonight before we get off just because it's ending pretty short. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with my stud tiers real quick and just give my breakdown, and then that way, and then we can end on that. I'm going to do my top 7 as my stud. I have Simple at number 1, Hobbit number 2, Shiro at 3, Serato at 4, Axel at 5, Electronic at 6, and Yuri at 7. In that order. Mid-tier, I'm going to go with Nafani, Art 2, Bumble 3, Junior 4, Perfecto 5, Enter 6, Malbs MD at 7, Vinny at 8, and Exep at 9. That's the mid-tier in that order with projections and things like that. And then my lower tier value, I got Flamey at 1, Malbs at 2, S-Tag at 3, Mezzy 4, Alex 5, and PRT at 6. So I threw out something a little different for today. I like doing that kind of stuff. I might stick to that, to be honest. I'm trying to work on a actual bracket form with player, team, DK price, and projection, and try to get that into the Discord for people to look at too, to see. That way you guys can see it when we're not on air. It might help you guys out looking at that breakdown. It's simple for me to do that for you guys. I just have to figure out how to convert it into the Discord because I just have to figure it out and what kind of software I'm going to use. But that's what I'm going to try to start doing for everybody. I know I do write-ups on Friday, Saturday, Sundays, so I might try to incorporate that into all that as well, just to add another piece to the pie. So that's where I'm at, man. I'm liking the 3-2-1 stack tomorrow. Like I said, my flag plants for my guys tomorrow, I like Shiro, Art, and Simple. And then obviously my stud tiers, I got Simple, Hobbit, and Shiro 1, 2, and 3. So I'm going a little different tomorrow. I'm going to try to use a cheaper guy with these stacks in my captain spot to see how that works. And we'll see how it goes. But Simple's going to be probably number 1 in the captain spot for majority. Hobbit's probably going to be number 2, and Shiro following. I mean, that just makes the most sense to me on the ownership for them. And, I mean, they're strong plays tomorrow. So I'm sure you're right there with me on that.
Yeah, so, I mean, just to kind of end it from my standpoint, my flag plants would be more on Shiro, Simple, Yuri. One of those 2 are going to have the highest score out of everybody tomorrow. I think you have one of those 3 in your captain. I think that a 3-3 stack of one of these teams is probably going to take it down tomorrow.
Yep.
So that's kind of where I'm at, a little bit different in the sense that I think more 3-3 instead of 3-2-1, and I think that you need to have Yuri. I think you need to have Simple or Shiro in your captain tomorrow to take down the slate. But, I mean, really, we're on the same page. I'm not going to get cute about it. Again, 2 of these teams are going to sweep, if not all 3 of them, and in my opinion, it's going to be a 3-3 stack that's going to be most optimal, and it's really about one of those 3 players in your captain. Maybe I'm wrong and someone else is in your captain, but I'm confident in the 3-3 stack.
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with everything. I like everything you said. Like you said, I think it's Simple is going to be in majority of lines and captains. It's not a bad play. I think it's pretty self-explanatory.
That is true. He is going to be heavily owned, but he's kind of like a Zywoo in the sense that 80% of the time, 70% of the time, he definitely probably will put up a score that you're going to want to you're going to want to have, whether it's captain or not. But if they're winning, you know, his 70, 80 is definitely valuable. So I don't know. Again, I'm not going to get too cute with tomorrow and the opening matchups, and I'm just stuck on optimal being a 3-3 stack. So I'm probably going to focus there a little bit. But again, like you said, anything can happen.
Yep.
Well, with that being said, appreciate everyone joining us. I know we're pretty short and sweet and to the point tonight, but I think it's straightforward and want to give you at least a couple hours to digest some of this information, and appreciate the feedback and suggestions, and hope to see you tomorrow, and good luck tomorrow. Thanks. Have a good night.